Hello and welcome back to Planet Nibiru. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to all the folks who have subscribed and who have made this moment possible. We, a few days ago, surpassed 10,000 viewers. We're up to about 10,500 almost right now, and I appreciate that so very, very, very much. I never expected to have a channel with 10,000 subscribers, and it has shown me that I have to make some changes to the way that I'm running the channel and the videos I put out, etc. The community deserves my full attention, and I've basically been, this has been a secondary hobby of mine, not even one of my first hobbies, so I was assuming that everyone who is watching these videos has done as much homework and was as familiar with these topics as I am. What I have found is that a small group of you are, but some of you have little knowledge of these and some have no knowledge at all. So I'll be making some changes going forward, and I apologize for not seeing it and adjusting sooner. However, we are going to refine our approach and make sure that we are being very, very clear in these videos. I'm getting a lot of comments from folks who either didn't watch the full video or didn't pay attention or something, so I'm going to make sure that in the future you won't be able to miss the point of these videos. So this is the 10,000 subscriber special, and we will be doing a giveaway during the special, and we will be discussing the Mandela effect, we will be discussing Planet X, and we will be discussing the big picture. And that's first on the list, so I'm going to jump right in, and I'd like to explain my theory on what is happening in the big picture. I want to show you this so you can connect the dots for yourself and see how all of this plays into the larger effort or the larger scenario of what's going on in the world. And I believe there is a small group of very informed people who are basically at the top of the pyramid and run the world. Now, this may be a breakaway civilization, or this may be the actual folks that we see. However, I do not believe that. I believe that the folks who we see, the George Soroses, the Heinz Kerrys, the Rothschilds, I believe they are the folks who are set up to take the fall. If there ever is some type of uprising, I believe there are people above them whose names we will never know, who have the true power in this world. And they actually are very, very informed people, and the power that they have is from the knowledge that they have and that they keep to themselves, and that is how they continue to maintain ownership and running of the world. They can do this because they are aware of Earth's natural cycles and privy to knowledge that we are not, like anti-gravity and free energy and things like that. I have mentioned this scene or this movie a few times. The movie is called Apocalypto. It is up on the channel. You can watch the full thing. However, this one scene illustrates my point, and we'll take a look at it here. And I believe this scene illustrates, as you can see, the high priests are making a sacrifice to the gods, and then, of course, the eclipse happens, and the people are fooled into believing it's a sign from the gods. That is what happens when you have people who don't know the scientific facts of what's going on in the world. You can be fooled into believing things, and I believe that that is what's happening today with things like global warming. Earth is going through a natural period of change, but the powers that be want us to believe that it's a man-made change so they can make money off of it and maintain control over third world countries through carbon emissions and things like that. It's really just a sleight of hand at a very high level. in my opinion. If you've ever seen the movie Zardoz with Sean Connery, it shows a breakaway civilization that lives at a much higher technological level than the rest of the inhabitants of the Earth. They have anti-gravity and electromagnetics that power their aircraft, which are shaped like pyramids and faces and things like that, and the rest of humanity is like on horseback and worship them as gods because they gave them the gift of the gun. They gave certain groups these guns, these weapons, and those groups were able to lord over the other groups and keep them in line. And I believe that we're in the same boat nowadays. Those who know the truth are in a totally different lifestyle, far beyond anything that we can imagine. The rest of us are controlled by a favored class, which is what we call the elites or the 1%, and they are allowed to lord over us as rulers as long as they keep us in line, and they do what they are told by the true rulers who we never see. The ones that we do see are the patsies, so to speak. Any revolution or uprising, it only sacrifices them, and whoever takes control next will be compromised or killed at some point, and the rest of the rulers will fall in line and maintain a loyalty to the true ruling class, which is the natural order of things. So as you can probably see, if I'm correct in this theory of how things run, all conspiracies and phenomenon are tied at their core to this one simple truth, that there is this breakaway civilization that rules us all from afar. You can look at like JFK, for example. Any of the major conspiracies that are out there, could be tied to this. In the JFK thing, perhaps he knew about what was going on and he was going to blow the whistle to the rest of us. Negative, that would not be allowed. He would have to go. And he would have to go in a very public way as a warning to those who might get out of line in the future. UFOs could be aliens, but they could be a breakaway civilization, or both. Free energy, as a conspiracy theory, obviously they wouldn't let us have free energy or electromagnetics to a certain extent. Obviously we do have certain levels of free energy like wind turbines and solar energy and things like that, and we do have electromagnetics at a certain level. We have maglev trains and things like that, but they will not let us go any further than what we have done up until this point. The elite want their money and their control. Anti-gravity and free energy gives the common man far too much power, and on down the line it goes. So this is my opinion, and I really have no proof of this. This is only what I believe based on my experience and what I've read and researched. Many people believe the truth that is told to us in movies, and therefore we are warned. I believe that they tell us these things, and by telling us these things through movies and television and things like that, they are able to do these things with a free conscience because, hey, we were warned, we've seen the truth, we just didn't know which truth to believe. So we're shown that truth in such a way that makes us believe it's only fiction, and in this way they can hide in plain sight, so to speak. So if you start to seek truth and you add up these facts all around you, you might see that you'll actually start to see these things too. You'll when you watch a movie on television, when you research something on the internet, when you see something on, or if you go to a movie in the theater, you'll start to see that these simple truths are hidden in there, and they're made out to be so far-fetched and so fantastic that it could never be. This keeps their secret hidden. Recently, we've been talking about the Mandela effect, and one of the changes is changes to our maps. We have also seen an increase in the discussions around flat Earth lately, and perhaps land beyond the poles. And of course, those who believe in this are ridiculed, and what better way to stay hidden than make sure your land doesn't appear on any map. If someone runs across you, they just die. Think of the Bermuda Triangle, maybe. Look at how flight paths run in this world, and ask yourself, why not take the shortest route over the top or over the bottom of the planet as opposed to flying all the way around it? Doesn't really make sense, but yet that is what airplanes do. I'm not advocating for the flat earth here. I'm only saying that we should be asking ourselves these questions if we truly want to find the truth. We have to be willing to look in the dark spots where others fear to look. Now, that is a high-level overview of what I see as the big picture, so to speak, and all other so-called conspiracies like Planet X and things like that would fall underneath it. Those at the highest level know exactly what Planet X is and where it is when it comes, and they have taken the necessary steps to avoid calamity. They will not be affected at all. Their technology will save them from the worst of it. When it passes, they will simply rebuild, pick up the pieces of what's left, and start over with new people to lord over. Humanity goes through these cycles just like Earth. Earth has ice ages, then periods of warmth, periods of upheaval, and then periods of great calm. So too does mankind. This is my theory, and I would like to know what you guys think of it. Please comment below and tell me your thoughts on this. Now, for the giveaway, the first person to email me, and my email is in the description down below. If you email me the word Zardoz, that is Zardoz, you will receive a free Planet X t-shirt from our Spreadshirt store. You can choose any design you like, and we will ship it to you. We will be doing giveaways again at 25,000, 50,000, and 100,000 subscribers. Each time we will give away more and more freebies. Next time at 25,000, we'll give away 3 t-shirts. At 50,000, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. We'll probably do like 5 t-shirts and something really nice. And then at 100,000, I have no idea. We're going to do something super special at 100,000, because that is the point at which you get your YouTube button, your YouTube play button that you can hang on the wall, and that is a big goal of mine, is to have one of those. I think it would be really cool, and like I said, I never thought I'd hit 10,000, but since I did hit 10,000, I think it is possible at some point for me to hit 100,000. So, okay, so lately we've been discussing the Mandela effect as well as Planet X, and we will continue to do that in the future. We will also be looking in the future at the flat Earth theory. Now, I will be approaching it from the standpoint of I really don't believe in the flat Earth. However, I do believe that there is some compelling evidence that the flat Earth folks show. So we'll be taking a look at that from a very open-minded standpoint and see where it leads. I'm not saying that the Earth is or isn't flat. I don't know. I've never been to space. But what I can tell you is that some of the things that I've seen in their videos are compelling. So we'll be taking a look at that in the future. Now, we're going to jump in on the Mandela effect really quick, and we're going to talk first about some new residual proof that I found. Specifically, I'm going to jump right into the Ford logos. And I'm going to share with you what a subscriber submission that was sent to me from one of our subscribers. They've sent pictures of an old official Ford Shelby Cobra jacket. Now, this Ford Shelby Cobra jacket is for sale on eBay right now, and I will put some links to it, or I'll put the link to the auction down below. You can look at the pictures for yourself. You can download them. You can zoom in on them. Check them out. This is not Photoshop. This is up on eBay. It's not my jacket, and you can see the actual images for yourself, the original images. What we see here is it's an official licensed Ford product, and the logo does not have the curly Q tail on the F. Now, that's the big change in the Ford logo that everybody's been talking about. We can see here that it's clearest on the inner lining. This image shows the clearest image with no curly Q. The tag on the shoulder there, or on the arm, should show us that it doesn't seem like there's a curly Q on the F, but we can't see it quite as clearly as the one in the inner lining of the jacket. So that's pretty solid residual proof to me, but I know that some folks wouldn't see that as residual proof. So let's take a look at some other images that have been sent in and that are floating around out there that you can take a look at yourself. So many of these instances are residual proof in an official Ford dealership logo. Some of them are stickers, some of them are signs from around the world. And you can see clearly that none of these official Ford logos have that curly Q. Where did the curly Q go? If Ford has always had the curly Q in there, that little curly on the F there, why is it not appearing in the stickers? Why does it not appear on these signs? And for the final smoking gun, we have a high definition video from a recent edition of Jay Leno's Garage, in which Jay is reviewing a 1967 Ford Fairlane in original mint condition. And here we hit the nuclear weapon of reality crashing in, the smoking gun of all smoking guns, because you can clearly see the Ford logo on the valve covers has the logo that many of us remember without the curly tail on the F. I have other pieces of residual proof, but after this, I don't really think it's necessary. I mean, if this doesn't convince you that something is up, something's going on, there is residual proof of a different Ford logo out there, nothing will. So, with that, let's jump over to the changing timelines. Now, many people say, timelines can't change, realities can't merge, there's no such thing as other dimensions, other realities, other timelines. I say that's horsepucky because we see some examples like these. And these are impossible circumstances which are caught on video. There seems to be no rational explanation of how these events could possibly happen, and yet I submit that they are perhaps proof that these changes are happening all the time, with realities intersecting and crisscrossing with each other with almost disastrous consequences at times. For instance, take this car coming out of nowhere. This has been on the internet for quite some time now, but there's never been a rational explanation given for this other than the angle of the camera, which, in my opinion, is like calling a UFO sighting swamp gas. This is irrational and desperate to try and explain it in this way at best. We don't rush to judgment just yet, though. Let's take a look at a couple more examples that have been floating around for a while in the ether of the internet. First, the luckiest dog ever. This dog seemingly appears out of nowhere as two cars are drag racing by. And this dog jumps, like, it just appears to be jumping into this reality, and he really should have been road pizza because those cars should have just crushed him when they went flying by. But there he is, just running off, and there's bounding away with no, free and clear of any injury whatsoever. Let's take a look here at an old man riding a bike, and he just happens to appear out of thin air. Again, people are blaming the angle of the camera for this, and while I agree that camera angle can cause strange things to appear and look weird on, in video, but this is pushing the boundaries of that belief because we can clearly see all around this man before the guy appears out of the ether, out of nowhere. And if that's not enough, let's take a look at what I would call the luckiest man alive, who casually strolls through traffic, right through the path of an 18-wheeler semi-truck, and doesn't even care. Just acts like it's not even there, and this seems impossible to me, yet we can plainly see that it happened. How did this guy just stroll through there with seemingly, we can't see him coming from the other way. He's just in the road somehow. This is a very, very strange piece of video, and I submit that this is proof that realities are merging. And I think that again, my own personal belief system here is that realities somehow are being manipulated, or they started something with CERN, or perhaps with quantum computing, or maybe they're just running it, and these things are happening all the time now because of these things. And maybe it has nothing to do with CERN or quantum computing. Maybe it's something that is happening in the breakaway civilization that lives at the top. Maybe they have, obviously they have technology that's far beyond ours, and maybe they're playing with things and causing these Mandela effects. We don't know, but however, I believe that what we're seeing is realities merging, and all of these Mandela effects and things that we can't explain are simply us working out the kinks as we notice them. Some of us remember it one way, some of us remember it another way, and we're having to work that out amongst ourselves because obviously, if you remember it one way, the first thing you want to do is tell everybody else they're stupid and it didn't happen that way. Well, a lot of people do anyway. A lot of us, especially in this community, which I love, is we are more open-minded, and we will explore and research and look for another possibility. But many people just want to jump right to the, oh, well, you're stupid, or you're an idiot, or, it didn't happen that way. You just didn't remember it right, and that's all well and good. But if there wasn't, 300,000 people remembering something the exact same way, but yet wrong. I mean, when else does that happen in life? It doesn't. So we have to come up with an explanation for that. And nobody really can say for certain yet, but we can all make up our minds for ourselves. My job is to present the evidence with an open mind and make my own decision as to what I think is behind it, and present it to the community and let everybody else make their mind up for themselves. Perhaps it's blind luck. Perhaps it's something a bit more extraordinary. I don't know. What do you think of these clips? Do you think that this is realities merging, or is it just simply camera angles and blind luck? Okay, so let's jump into some rapid fire things that I've found recently that some of it I've known about for a while, we haven't talked about, but some of it I found out recently, but we're just going to jump right in, talk about it really quick, and then move on. These are Mandela effects that just blow my mind, and from the folks I've talked to in the comment section and through emails and things like that, they're blown away by this as well. So, number one, Eli Whitney. Used to be a black guy as far as I knew. I was taught in school he was a black guy that invented the cotton gin, and I remember specifically when I was taught that it didn't make sense because slavery was going on at the time, and why would a black guy help out people who were enslaving his people? Didn't make sense. I know if I was a slave, I certainly wouldn't help the guys who were enslaving my people, but yet this guy did. Why would he do that? Well, evidently he's the white guy. And so either they were lying to us back then or they're lying to us now. Doesn't really matter how you look at it, it's still pretty screwed up. Alright, Louis Anderson. I remember he hung himself. And he was dead. And evidently he didn't. And he's back from the dead now. So, Louis Anderson, alright, good job, buddy. DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration? No. It's always been the Drug Enforcement Agency as far as I remember. But evidently, since the beginning of time, it's been the Drug Enforcement Administration. And those of us who remember agency, we're just getting it wrong. Jupiter has rings too. Didn't know that. Thought Saturn was the only planet with rings, but Jupiter has them too. Capricorn goat has a fishtail. So if you're a Capricorn, if you're born in January, or at some point in January when the Capricorn is applicable, I'm not really sure what the dates are, but you're not just a goat, you're a half goat, half fish. Welcome to the Mandela effect. Tiananmen Square, Tank Boy, did not get run over. I remember the Tank Boy getting run over, and a lot of people couldn't watch it because it was pretty disgusting, and some of the television stations and things like that wouldn't run that part of the clip because they said it was too gross, too disgusting, and they just wouldn't run it. But Tiananmen Square Tank Boy did not get run over, and he is alive to this day. Who knew? Hebrews 11:21. We're going to go into the Bible here just for a minute. Armies of aliens in the Bible. Didn't know that. What do you guys think? Let's jump over to Psalms 29:6. There's a unicorn right there in the Bible. Who knew? Genesis 45:20. Get your stuff, because God says stuff. Luke 25:4. Picked up his couch. Really? The word couch was coined in 1895 when J. Wellington Couch built the first one. Wonder how that got in the Bible. Whiteout. W-I-T-E. No H in whiteout. Isn't that ironic that they would misspell whiteout? Depend. You know, those adult diapers, well, they're not Depends. They're Depend. No sunglasses in the risky business scene. Tom Cruise, sunglasses, button-down shirt, yeah. Nope, no sunglasses. So everybody who did their little risky business scene, their parody scene, those people were all wrong, evidently, because everybody's parody scenes still have the sunglasses. Tom Cruise, nope. And now he has a pink shirt. Where did the pink shirt come from? It was always a white button-down shirt in my memory. Wizard of Oz, Scarecrow has a gun, and that blew me away. So I'm just going to leave that there. And that's been Rapid Fire Mandela Effect. And we're just going to jump into Planet X. Give you a quick update on what's going on with Planet X. Planet X has been acknowledged in the media since at least 1955 when it graced the cover of Popular Science. In this issue, they said it was due to arrive at Earth in about 50 years. Since then, we have seen the steady increase in volcanism, earthquakes, natural disasters, with the peak being right about 50 years from 1955. The peak was right around 2008 to 2010 on almost every chart you can find. Now, does this mean that the worst is behind us and Planet X is on its way out of the galaxy? Let's hope so. But it could also mean that its influence is being blocked temporarily by another planet like Jupiter or even the Sun, in which case we could end up in the thick of it with no real warning. Last month, something was captured on video that shows a large planet or other object that is as big or bigger than Jupiter, very close to Jupiter in the night sky. Combined with other recent sightings of two suns and other anomalies in the sky, we certainly aren't out of the woods yet. Speaking of anomalies in the sky, have you guys seen the vortexes, the sky vortexes? Evidently they're a thing now, and people aren't really too worked up about it. So scientists and other folks that would normally be called upon to explain these things just have said, yeah, it's a sky vortex. Well, I've never seen a sky vortex before now. Have you? So many other people, including myself, have witnessed a strange phenomenon where the Earth seems to have tilted or shifted the angle at which we are relative to the Sun. Many of us have noticed that the Sun is setting in a strange place as it relates to our homes or place of work. I have also noticed that personally my backyard no longer gets sun all day. Just a few years ago, we built a courtyard back there with a beautiful fireplace and barbecue pit, and my brother and I labored many long days in there, working on weekends and after work, and the sun would directly shine in that area until late in the afternoon. Nowadays, the sun hits that area for almost an hour in the morning, and then it gets no more direct sunlight the rest of the day. It's a little bit longer than an hour in wintertime because the trees have no leaves on them, so we actually get a little bit more sunlight there during the winter. But during summer, no sunlight. We get about an hour in the morning, and that is it. So I've been watching this for almost a year now, and there is no sign of the sun returning to its normal schedule. We built that courtyard in late summer to late fall, I believe, and I've watched it through late summer and late fall, and I've noticed no change. We're still only getting about an hour of sunlight in the yard. So this has really illustrated to me that something has changed. Non-believers will not change their mind until something happens to them personally, so I think it's important for us to tell our own personal stories so that they can compare their own experiences against them. Eventually, they will find something that hits home for them as well. That's my belief. In the last 2 or 3 years, I've seen many people start to believe because they've experienced something for themselves. The same goes for the Mandela effect. Any of the pieces of the Mandela effect, once it happens to them, they see the light, and sometimes becoming some of the most ardent supporters I know after they've experienced something. So tell your tales of change in the comment section below, and let's get the word out there for all to see. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this special edition of Planet Nibiru, and I certainly hope that you've enjoyed it. I would like to once again thank everyone who has subscribed and liked and commented on our videos. I am so grateful to be part of such a wonderful and open-minded community, and I look forward to 2017 as a banner year for all of us as we explore the limits of our reality, searching for answers together. Please send your images and videos to planetxapproaches@gmail.com. There's a link in the description below. And please don't forget to visit our website at planetxapproaches.com for up-to-the-minute news about Planet X. And if you'd like to visit our Spreadshirt store, you can visit it at creativities.spreadshirt.com. We got some really cool t-shirts on there that we've designed, and we sell to support the website and the YouTube channel. And I also do custom designs as well, so if you're looking for something unique, let me know. I'd love to help create it with you. Thanks again so much, and we will see you guys very soon.